Welcome to the Modcast, episode number 11. I'm Gordo, that's Gary, and we have a special guest, Dean Barber. Can't wait to have our conversation with Dean today. He was the very first advisor to say, yes, I'm going to throw in, I want to be with you guys and build something amazing. Dean, welcome to the Modcast.
Hey, good to be here, Gordo. And Gary, good to see you both.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fun little discussion here. So, Dean, let's get the quick facts out of the way. Where are you sitting? How big was the firm when you joined? How many people? Like, give us the Barber Financial Group stats, and then we'll get into like what's happened, what the evolution has been.
It's been amazing. So, first of all, Barber Financial Group proper, Lenexa office here. We were about 38 employees. We also had the Barber Financial Group RIA, which was also part of Troy, Michigan, and Lee Summit. We were about $1.5 billion in assets. Collectively, we were at about 55 total employees across all three firms. So obviously, we're a lot bigger than that now, crossing over 10 billion here soon in a really short period of time.
Well, by the time this is out, we will be over 10 billion is we're going to cross that threshold in 3 days.
That's amazing.
Our latest acquisition. So, all right, you said Lenexa. Where in the country is Lenexa?
It is a suburb of Kansas City, located in Johnson County, Kansas. Many people don't know, but Johnson County, Kansas is in the top 10 wealthiest counties per capita in the United States. So, little secret, but it shouldn't be a really that big of a surprise knowing that two of our biggest competitors are right in my backyard.
Yeah, in Johnson County with you.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll just say who they are. Mariner and Creative Planning. I mean, they're just up the road. It's okay.
Right.
We can give them a little airtime.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. We're quite a bit smaller than they are, but
for a while.
We're working on it. Working on it. Hey, so Dean, you were the very first again advisor. You and I and Mike Capelli and Gary, we all had a long-standing relationship prior to the launch of this business. And so we knew each other. I'd like to think we're friends. And
yes.
I remember, that first meeting, we said, this is our business plan. And you said, well, that's interesting. Look at my business plan, and how, very, very similar they were. It was if we were in neighboring rooms, each building business plans, but overhearing what the other one was saying in the other room. That was pretty cool.
It was very cool. When you guys presented what you wanted to do, I just got a big smile on my face, and I'm like, we're doing it like 95% of that at this point in time. And so I think it was a very natural fit to be able to take your business plan, have the platform, and capitalize on building that across the country, which I have to say that the executive team has done an amazing job of doing that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. But hey, we're here today to talk about what happens afterwards. We get asked all the time, and I think it's a very good question. I had the very same question when I was selling my business, when I transacted on my RIA, and that is, what happens to my team members? What happens to the people? A business isn't just you, right? You said collectively there, between the three locations, there were about 55 people that joined on day one. And, we say it all the time. We bring everybody in, we give them great career opportunities and career pathing, and hopefully their life unfolds in ways they couldn't have imagined. And we're here to ask you, what happened to the people?
Well, I think one of the clear things was people were nervous. They really didn't know what to expect, which is a legitimate concern from the employee's perspective because they're not in the decision-making process. But one of the things that was very clear from the very beginning is that we are in a relationship business, and we need the employees that are here, and whoever is being acquired needs the employees that are there to continue to do what they do for their clients on a daily basis, because that's what we're building, right? It's all about relationships. And you all made it very clear that if people wanted to continue doing the same things that they were doing, that their job would not change. But if they wanted to pursue other career opportunities within the bigger modern wealth as it continued to grow, they were going to be able to do that. And I can tell you that I've got 6 really key employees that were with me for a long time prior to us becoming Modern Wealth that have chosen to go the career pathway of something more advanced and something that I could have never offered them myself as the old Barber Financial Group. And so the people that wanted to do that have pursued it. There's more people that may pursue other opportunities in the future, but the people that just wanted to keep doing their thing and hanging out with the clients and doing the client service and those types of things, they're still doing that. And I will tell you that everybody today is as happy as I've ever seen them. I think our net promoter score was over 70 this last time on our engagement. And so, it's been less than 2.5 years, and what a lot of changes have taken place. But from the perspective of the employees, they couldn't be happier at this point in time.
Yeah, and I think of people in your organization that, again, hand raisers. These are people that said, I want to take the next step in my career journey. I want to do something bigger and more than what I might be able to accomplish in Lenexa, right? So, and many of them are still in Lenexa. They all still live in Lenexa. It's not like they've moved, but they've just taken on bigger roles. Somebody like Logan, right?
Right.
Talk about Logan for a minute. He was an advisor who had just absolutely killed it, a CFP, had built a very sizable business. But what have you seen out of Logan?
I look, anybody that knows Logan is going to be impressed by Logan. I got the opportunity to start working with Logan when he was a sophomore in college. We started interning. And so we're approaching 15 years of relationship and working together. And, Logan came straight out of college, and I stuck him in the tax department for the first year, which he absolutely hated. But it was good for him to actually see that side of the business. And Logan went on to become probably our best producing advisor, maybe next to Will. And he did it very quickly. And Logan saw an opportunity at Modern Wealth to have a bigger impact on more people by helping to coach other advisors around the country as they become part of Modern Wealth and help them understand what it is that we really have here and how special it is and how they can take that and go to the next level. And Logan is just, I think he's loving what he's doing right now, and he's killing it.
Yeah, he's very impressive, and somebody that all of our offices get to work with and engage with, and he's really helping Jason Del Cole drive that organic growth, and funneling lead opportunity to the hub and then out to the offices has been great. Let's talk about a few people really quickly. So Will, what about Will? Will is you just mentioned him when you were talking about Logan, but tell us about Will. What's happened to Will?
So Will's taken on a role of co-managing director along with me, very much a leadership role and helping all the advisors and the teams here in Lenexa make sure that everything's operating as smoothly and seamlessly as possible. Will's kind of the technician guy. I'm the big picture, let's go get him kind of a guy. And Will might sometimes say, hey, we should maybe take a look at this in a different way. So it's good to have him on the team as a co-managing director, and the advisors here in Lenexa, they really look up to him as well.
Yeah, so that's a promotion, right? Will was an advisor in your office. He was a senior guy in your organization, but that managing director seat is a promotion. So he
100%.
Taking a big step up.
100%.
All right. How about Paul? Marketing Paul.
Paul's amazing. Anybody that's got a chance to work with Paul Manger, director of marketing, is really, really talented. Paul has really just kind of had the freedom, thanks to you guys, of assembling the team that he wants to assemble to make things happen. And, like this Modcast, for an example, this is something that he's done, taken the radio program that I've done for 20 years and turning that into YouTube videos and podcasts. One of our advisors was in the subway in Boston here about a month and a half ago, and he said, I heard your voice on the subway. He was talking to me. He said, I heard your voice on the subway in Boston, and there was a guy listening, or I was saying actually a guy watching your YouTube video on the subway in Boston.
That's incredible.
Awesome. Is that crazy?
That's awesome.
As we think about advisors out there who are thinking about, what do I do to grow my own practice, and they're on their own, the truth is, like, you've got to figure out a way, if you're going to break out of just your circle, your sphere of influence, your center of influence. There's firms out there who can help them. They don't have to necessarily join a company like ours, but if you join a company like ours, you can have access to that sort of breadth and depth of marketing outreach that, where someone could be listening to something that's about your firm, you know, thousands of miles away from where you are. I have a question for you, Dean, about you. So, for other advisors who are out there who might hear this, you made a decision that I think was a very, for lack of a better word, brave decision to take your own name off of the door, you know, literally take your own name off of the door and say, yeah, no, we're going to be part of this brand, this new brand. And, maybe talk a little bit about that and how that's been for you.
From a psychological standpoint, that was a big deal at the very beginning. I had a long conversation with my wife about it. She goes, "You're really going to change the name of what you build." Everybody knows who Barber Financial Group is. I mean, I was on the radio for, decade and a half or better. And it was kind of a household name. And I said, I don't think the name is what's important. I said, it's the relationship with our clients. It's what we do. It's how we do it. And rebranding to Modern Wealth doesn't change any of the things that are the most important. And I think that sometimes people can get too attached to the name of their firm. And look, I've had clients say, I still want to call it Barber Financial Group. I'm like, just call it whatever you want. I said, we're Modern Wealth now, but we're all still the same people. And they're like, yeah, well, that's the most important thing. And so, it's a little hurdle that people have to get over, but I think once you do, it's not that big of a deal.
The best part of that whole point in the launch of the business, Mike, Gary, and I are sitting here going, okay, we have a name, fine. We have a logo, great. We have Dean Barber, Barber Financial Group. Let's just kick the rebrand down the street 6 months because we've got a mountain of work to go accomplish at the start of this business. And it was actually you that said, no, I want to be Modern Wealth Management day one.
Yeah.
And, and it was awesome because, I mean, literally day one on the door, it was now Modern Wealth Management. The sign on the building was Modern Wealth Management. Everybody was flying the flag and wearing the logo gear. And it was awesome. And it was you that pushed that. And I think you're right. I've rebranded a business. People do business with people. It's not a brand, but
That's
when
right.
you're building a national firm like we are, you want consistency in look and feel and name and brand and way of operating. So, good for you for pushing us.
It's great. I mean, it's great. The whole thing has been great. And, anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to work with our executive team as closely as I have, I have to say that, I was talking to somebody and they said, what do you think's the best thing about Modern Wealth? And I said, well, it's the executive team because they've executed on every single thing that they said that they were going to execute on and more. And so we're building an amazing organization here that is going to last well beyond any of us.
Yeah. I mean, Gary and I are on that executive team and super appreciate your kind words there. And you're right. This is heads down, building something great that's lasting, that goes well beyond Dean and Gary and Gordo and Mike and Del Cole, that we give people career path and opportunity, that we give everybody a bigger, more meaningful role to play in the buildup of the business. So I think I really appreciate it. You've been an exceptional partner, and we couldn't have launched the way we did without somebody like you throwing in with us. So we really appreciate you taking that first step and jumping in. Been great.
I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate that you guys thought about me to be that platform for the national build out. And it's been amazing. I'm looking forward to what's to come as well.
Hey, that's Dean Barber. Thanks so much, Dean.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Well, that was really great, Gordo, hearing from Dean Barber about his experience and, the impact on his team of deciding to sell and join and become part of a new organization that happens to be our organization, Modern Wealth.
Yeah.
But I thought he had an interesting business coming in, probably a little bigger than the average RIA. He was around $1 billion. They had an RIA themselves where there were 2 other offices who were part of the RIA that also joined Modern Wealth. Bud Casper and his office in Lee Summit, Missouri, and Ken Oswala and his team in Troy, Michigan. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
But
they're also part of number one.
They're also part of number one. They are what we call V23, vintage 23 or launch year. But the impact you can have if you're an owner of saying, okay, I've got a business which I can take so far, but if I can join a larger organization that could create additional opportunities for certain people, again, for a lot of people who are working with clients, you're still in the office doing what you did. Hopefully we're creating opportunities for them to work with more people or have more people working with them to work with more
That's
people.
right.
But the impact on team members, he said the number 6 people in his team that have had, kind of a significant career growth to be able to be part of something bigger.
I think it's more than 6 because
I know.
I have
was
a
trying to
list of
count in
like
my
9
head.
or
That's why I
10
said,
just that I've
6.
scribbled down.
Right. But whatever number it is,
Yeah.
we're not here to go through a list of
We're not
people
going to
necessarily,
debate the list. Yeah.
but it's an interesting positive side effect because we've talked a lot in prior episodes about just transactions and what goes on in the industry, and there's a lot of benefit if you're the seller, if you're the owner or one of the principal owners of a firm. There's a lot of things that are flowing to you when you sell, but what does it mean for your team? And it's not always clear to people what it means for their team.
Well, and when you say flowing to the owner, it's not just money. It's not equity in the new business that you partnered with. It's also information. Like you've been in every meeting and the team hasn't been, right? They don't have the luxury of or the benefit of all those conversations that you've had. So they don't know the impact on themselves. Like what's going to happen to me? And people do get worried about that.
Yeah. And I think Dean is someone who's, an example of, he did a great job of identifying people who were in certain roles and sort of teed them up and said, hey, to them, you might want to talk more about what you might be able to do in a broader sort of platform sense and sort of help facilitate that. And I think our next guest, Mark King from Knoxville, Tennessee, he comes from an office that is not as big, but a great, 280 million, I think at the time they joined us, RIA, that at the time was inside of an accounting firm. And both parties sort of felt like, okay, it's time to sort of break that apart and be independent each individually and go on somewhere else. But he also did a great job of identifying a smaller team, but a team member who could play a broader role on our investment platform.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear his comments around, his team and kind of how he thinks about it a year into, I think it's about a year.
Yeah, just a little over a year.
Yeah, into his journey here. It's funny, you mentioned Troy and Lee's Summit. I had forgotten that they've also had people that have been promoted in their offices, right? So there's been career advancement in the majority of our offices. And I think advisors and the team around the advisors that are supporting them and the principals there, they're very excited about kind of seeing how careers have developed and unfolded. So I look forward to talking to Mark.
All right. Well, let's go dial up Knoxville, Tennessee and see what he's got to say.
Let's get him on. All right, Gare. Hey, as we continue the episode, we have a second guest, the one and only Mark King from Knoxville, Tennessee. Mark, welcome to the Modcast.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Gordo. Good to see you, Gary.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Mark just got done telling us it's been blazing hot in Knoxville all summer. And Gary and I are happy we don't live there, but he does, and he's killing it. He's doing awesome work. Hey, we just wanted to ask a couple questions, really simple, and we'll get started with. All right, so you joined. I think it was July of 24. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right,
That's
so it's
correct.
been a little more than a year, right? So I'd love to hear you talk about, why you joined Modern, what you hoped would happen, what's actually happened. And then I have a couple questions about a couple of key members of your team. So, why Modern, what were you hoping would happen and what happened?
Well, why Modern? We were, a $285 million AUM RIA. We had been the only RIA since 2010. I really felt like because of our size and some other issues, we had restrictions on limitations that really affected our ability to grow, and was looking for an opportunity to really expand our business, expand the offerings that we had available to our clients. We've always been planning first, paid a lot of attention to the tax side. I liked a lot of what I was hearing from Modern about building out the tax planning department and insurance and some of the other things that we do with our Advantage offerings. And so, really excited. We were very impressed. We were very impressed with Modern Wealth Management and the due diligence process. As you all are aware, I had a good friend in the industry who had gone through it with you, spoke very highly. And I think from our side, my staff and myself, we were all impressed with that early process. And, what were we expecting? We were expecting to be freed up from some of those tasks that just wore us down, cost quite a bit of money, got in the way of us being productive. We've seen a lot of that. We're not doing compliance in-house anymore. We're not dealing with clients, compliance consultants and all of that. Financial planning has really expanded, especially with the tax department. I really like the fact that we've got the ability to send insurance cases up to the insurance area. It's just been a huge expansion of what we can do, and it's really freed me up and freed our team up to do what we're good at.
Well, you guys have had amazing growth in the 12 months, 13 months you've been here. I mean, it's obvious that you feel freed and able to get out into the community and go talk to people again. And that buddy of yours you talked about, that friend that had gone through the process, he may have been the guest earlier in this episode, Dean Barber. Yeah, he's a great guy and knows lots of great people across the industry, and he's the one that introduced us to you. And I mean, you've been a fantastic partner and a great fit. So let's talk really quickly about, okay, so you've seen some growth in the office. You were directly driving that. The firm, have we started to send you opportunity from the Organic Growth Hub?
We have gotten opportunities from the Organic Growth Hub. That's been a little bit of a learning experience for us, working with the Growth Hub and, having opportunities come to us via that method. We're used to the warm referral, but we're really excited about what's happening with the Growth Hub. Starting to see some really nice opportunities come our way, and I see no reason why it's not going to continue to get better. Very impressed with what Modern has been able to do to improve what we are offering our clients and the marketplace from year to year. I talk about that often with my friends in the business who ask me, what's this been like for you the first year? So I'm just very impressed with what we've been able to put together and continue to improve upon. So Growth Hub's been great.
That's awesome.
Send leads.
Send leads.
Opportunities.
Yeah. Open for business. I'm a closer. Send leads. That's what Mark's saying right there. Hey, real quick. So we talked to Dean earlier in the show about career opportunity and career pathing for some of his key people. And he highlighted, or he threw out the number 6 people. And we talked about 3 of those. But you have somebody on your team in your organization that also has kind of raised their hand and said, I'd like to have a bigger role here in the national firm. Who is that? What do they do? And kind of what's happened to Scott?
So we're talking about Scott Smith. He was our investment analyst, portfolio manager. He handled the investment side of our business. He built our portfolios. He managed them. He traded them. We had great success with Scott, and we were excited, and I know Scott was very excited when he got the opportunity to become a part of a larger investment program that allowed him, expanded access to products. Scott loves research. He loves digging into investments, doing that due diligence work. And he's got that opportunity now. I know I've talked to Tuck. Tuck very much enjoys having Scott on his team. And Scott's excited about it. So we're thrilled that he's got this opportunity and been able to grow. I would also mention, we've had other staff people. We had a person who was managing our compliance.
Yeah.
That's the last thing they wanted to do for the rest of their career. And now they're the key person in our office at doing financial planning, and they've grown to really, they're really fond of it now, really enjoy what they're doing. with the financial planning side of what we do.
Yeah, she's great. So Scott, you know, when you're talking about Scott, Tuck is our director of investments. He oversees the national menu, and Scott now works with Tuck and is responsible for servicing advisors kind of in the East as an extension of the advisor community. Scott's really there to help build portfolios and construct and talk to advisors and introduce them to things on the menu and really work with them. And it's been impressive to watch Scott just kind of fold seamlessly right into Tuck's part of the organization and do great work. So, hey, I really appreciate all the comments and your time this morning. Welcome to the Modcast, guest number 2. And this has been Mark King in our Knoxville, Tennessee office. Thanks so much, Mark. Wow, another a great advisor at Modern. Mark King, I mean, I love what he said there about Scott Smith and other people in his organization. I mean, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, again, just the fact that the transaction, like, it's not just, okay, we're selling a business and a financial transaction, or it goes beyond a great home for your clients, but, you know, where can people from your team grow and expand their careers in ways that they couldn't in the format or footprint of your business as it was. And Scott's able to do that as part of our investment platform, our investment management team. And it's great. It's a win-win.
Yeah. And he's had multiple people in there that have expanded roles. And it was fun to hear him talk about that. And, you know, getting rid of compliance. Nobody wants to do compliance except for JP at Modern. But
somebody wants to do compliance at every
somebody does. JP wants to do it here. And he's really good at it. And he has a great team. So, hey, I thought that was a fun episode. It was great to have Dean, who was number one acquisition, joined in April of 23, come on and talk about his kind of why and what he's excited about and the people, and then to have Mark come on from Knoxville. So
yeah, agreed.
I thought that was a good show.
Guests for the first time.
Yeah, and if you want to be a guest or you want some cool swag, all you have to do is drop us a note. Love to chat with you, love to engage with you, and you know, again, we take questions. So, for example, how tall is Gary? We took that last time. So
such an important question.
Yeah, hey, you have to go to episode 10 to get the answer, by the way.
Right. Go back to episode 10. But I can't let us end episode 11.
Yes.
For the Spinal Tap fans out there without saying that this one went up to 11. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Gordo doesn't know what I'm talking about.
I have no clue. So we'll just say it went up to 11. All right, everybody. That's the Modcast. I'm Gordo. That's Gary. See you next time.